Don't let the pussy be an enigma.
Right.
It's pussy next door.
Today, we're talking about the basics of pussy. So we're looking at anatomy, we're looking at hormones, we're looking at changes that happen all up in the pussy, within the pussy itself. Yeah, so, I mean, at this point, you guys been watching long enough to where we always are going to pose the question, have you noticed any changes in your pussy from, you being a young girl to being an adult now, or even being a young girl to going into your adolescent teenage years? And also, if you have noticed those changes, what were some of those changes? We hope that you'll share them with us, put them in the comments below, or you can private message us and we can have a discussion about it. I was just thinking too about like changes, not even like from one age to another, but within like the same year. Like some changes you're like, what same week? Like same week? Yes. Couple hours? Like, are you noticing cycles of changes? And like what that might mean for you. Or what that might mean for pussy. What might pussy be trying to communicate to you through these changes? Just a question. Yeah. And then also like we're gonna be discussing about anatomy of pussy. Do you know your anatomy? Have you ever looked at your pussy? I know I know this may be something new for many women. But really, like, have you ever taken a gander down there? Just seeing what you're working with and complimenting yourself and giving yourself a pat on the back, saying like, "Yes, this is good." Say, pat on the pussy. The pussy. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into cycles and what are the cycles that you notice with your pussy. I know that you ladies are really familiar with that because you guys have shared with me different cycles, and I'm like, wow. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. And as always, we look forward to hearing from y'all. And so let's get into it. Okay, so what do you know about the anatomy of a pussy? So like what's going on down there? What it look like? I'm trying to spare my list, but let me not do that. Let me just point to the photo on the screen. Okay. So, what you know about your pussy? Take a look. We're seeing the pubic hair, the mons pubis, the clitoral hood, then we try to do some and things that move underneath, which is where you pee out. Not a lot of people know, like, there's two. Like, they think we pee out of the clitoris area. Yeah.
Twerking. I would invite lots of people to check out some anatomy because I think there's a lot of misconception and misunderstanding about which parts are pleasuring, yeah, which parts are relieving, and all the other where things come out. Yeah, it would be great to be clear about that.
Yeah. I didn't think about that too, but like I didn't really know much about anatomy, so like I just knew that there was pussy on it. Like I just like I see some holes, see some flaps. And that's pretty much it. Like that's it. I didn't know what anything started, didn't know what anything meant. I didn't know what was going in, what was going on, what. And like it really kind of surprised me too where I pee because like you were saying like people think we pee out of the clit, and I thought we peed out of the
Main,
the main opening, like the vagina, the vaginal opening.
which, and how about just that word vagina? And this is so interesting, and I've educated myself in recent times, but like what you are touching, looking at on the outside is the vulva.
Vulva. That's the outside of the pussy.
What we can see versus like when you actually start talking about vagina, you're talking about what's happening internally on the way up to other organs, uterus, things like that. And so then when it comes to like hygiene, caring for sensitivities of the vulva, that can be really different from the actual vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, things that you might use on your vulva might not be so great in your vagina.
Right.
And it's important to know.
And that's interesting too that you talk about that, because in those phrases that you were talking about, I was just thinking about how even cosmetic companies, like I've never seen vulva or anything, but like I've just learned through women on the internet, like, about like the difference between a vulva and the vagina, and I was like, oh shit, like if this was something that was very clear, like your vulva is for the things on the outside,
Right.
vagina is a thing on the inside, like, that would help in a lot of understanding about how to properly like understand your vagina, how to take care of your vagina, and what the vulva likes versus what the vagina likes.
Exactly.
Because that is can be markedly different.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that because me personally, the vulva, like I always associated that with just the outer lip.
Mm.
And then like the inner lip, I didn't think of that as like the inner vulva. I thought that was still part of what you would call the vaginal area, right? And so like even when you go to like these doctors, they talk about the vaginal area.
Yeah.
But when you think of vaginal area, it's vaginal, vagina.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so of course I know like what the vagina is, or when I think of the vaginal area, I think of like the inner vulva and everything inside of that that's leading into the vagina. And so it wasn't till maybe like a few years ago where I was like, oh, there's the vulva and then the inner vulva and then the inner part of the vagina. And I was like, shit.
It's like,
Such a great word. I need to hear it more like in pop culture, but more like lyrics and references to
Like, I'm eating the vulva.
listen. See vulva, like understand. And you know, some of these specifics would be nice to hear more of.
and I think I know that there's such a power behind words,
Yeah.
and a power behind the ability to categorize information, be advised. Yeah, like just to know that there's a difference between vulva and vagina.
Right.
Like you literally have two different concepts now, where there is just has been just one, and this like interestingly too, the word vagina is like a proper way to
Right. Right.
down under art. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So it's just like okay, but also there's, I mean, some type of misleading, or not misleading, but just like like a broad covering of what your pussy is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I've also dove deep in some of my internet searches because I think we have a fabulous graphic with some wonderfully labeled parts and pieces. And there's been times when if I'm having a particular sensation or whatever it is, I'm kind of looking for like more language.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
think of like some AP anatomy class. I mean, everything got labeled.
Everything is you right, you know.
And so I know that this is a very important approach. And I know. And there's like even I don't see the word on there, but I've seen words like vestibule.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking there's been a word that's like niches.
I've never seen that one before.
What is the niche?
I don't know. It's all up in there. But you know, there is a lot of anatomy to it. So I feel like the same way that I want us to have a basic understanding, I also don't want us to have like a restricted understanding that this is all there is.
Right.
Because it really is an ecosystem.
Yeah.
A whole lot going on.
Yeah, your pussy itself is an ecosystem. Your uterus
Yeah.
is an ecosystem. Like, I mean, it is a natural cleaning organ, your uterus. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, there are a lot of companies that promote vaginal hygiene and things of that nature, but it is a natural cleaning organ. Your uterus, that leads down into your vagina, and that goes out into the vulva. Like, it's all a natural cleaning system. Or, as Lindsay said, an ecosystem. And once I learned that at a young age, like, because I had trouble with all of these feminine wine, right? And so for me, I use just a lukewarm water and a microfiber cloth to clean my vulva and like the whole like workings of everything down there. And that has helped me throughout the year. And I know it's different for different women, but I do encourage, like, if you are having trouble finding the right female feminine care, soap wash, whatever,
But then,
go back to natural, yeah, and get a microfiber cloth, warm luke water, make sure there's no soap, clean it up, rub a dub dub, and you're good.
Like that pH is like sacred.
Yeah.
pH is secret too. In Gone Forever. Gone Forever. I'm just thinking
But
like
it's
Gone.
there, but if it's there,
It's Gone Forever.
pH is sacred. It's okay, because like I supposed that. When do I know? I also learning about, I think that there's a lot of emphasis, at least I'll speak for myself, when I was young, about the types of changes that happen with penis in its various stages, and not a whole lot of discussion around changes to the vulva, changes to the vagina, right? And like even learning that like for some women or however when there's arousal, the like vaginal canal like elongate. Also at different times in the cycle, the uterus actually like it can have like different positioning. The canal can have different positioning. Sometimes things can feel like more restricted, less restricted. Obviously, we've talked a little bit about like discharge and like different hormonal shifts, but it's really fascinating to think that it's like very natural and part of a cycle for the even like the shape and feel of the vulva, the vagina change. Not to mention like the vulva and arousal. You know, but I'm talking about some of these changes and what feels good and what's like normal and what that looks like for each woman. I wish there was more space like this to have that conversation and be like, no, this is how it goes down.
And that's actually dope. That got me thinking about like kind of like this mystified understanding of like what's inside that like so it's like you now by assuming 10 by 5 but like what's inside, so like your ovary. Honestly I had no clue what ovaries like what side of it or so many years but ovaries. Fallopian tube, which is like, it's just funny to say. Cervix. Oh, it's not like, I don't know. So it's like kind of this mystified things of like, oh, no, these things are about your reproductive system,
Yeah.
but you don't. For me, I didn't know like what the damn were.
Yeah.
I like what they meant, what they did. What was the function, right? And like, and then I guess it took investigation, right, to understand like what it was. Like, and then and it's funny because like I learned more and more every day. Like even like the last time we were telling you about like how when the ovaries when we say it's not just like a transition, it's like a induction because like I with you something you know it's like dang flower situation. It's like a little dangles. It's like but I'm just
Shout out to my 7th grade health teacher and his wife. They taught me that.
see hey deep below got legacy.
It was real. That was a real question when we went through reproductive class. And, in 7th grade, they teach you like the ins and outs of it all and what it looks like. It wasn't just your puberty class you get in 4th and 5th grade. Like, it was like, okay, here's an ovary, here's an egg, fallopian tubes, uterus, vaginal canal. This is how it works, people. This is how a baby's created. And it's just like, what? Like, it did not make sense. And so, let me fill you all in. So, I was talking to them about, like, how ovaries release an egg, and it's, like, alternating. Egg month, like, left, right. And if you heard me in previous episodes where, you know, sometimes like you may have soreness on one side, that's when you are going through your ovulation, right? Or you're ovulating. And so I asked my 7th grade health teacher, I was just like, you know, like, how does the egg travel? Like, it's not connected. Like, the ovaries are not connected to the fallopian tubes. Like, it's like this nice little soft tissue stuff. But the egg itself, the way he explained it to me in my 7th grade head, and this is what I still see it as, is he was like, you have the ovary here, and it kind of pulses and it pushes out an egg, right? And as it pushes out an egg, it goes into the fallopian tube. And then the fallopian tube carries it through, and then it drops down into the uterus, and it kind of floats around, and then it beds itself into the what is it? I think the lining, which is like the endometrium wall or something like that, right? And then if it doesn't get fertilized, then the endometrium wall comes out, and boom, there's your period, right?
Period is actually, go ahead.
Yeah. And so for me, I was like, all right, cool. So the fucking fallopian tube just catches the shit. So then I was just like, yeah. And so I was just like, what happens if it doesn't catch it? And usually it lets out enough eggs to where it will go in. Like, it just automatically happens. Like, it's an automatic thing. Like, it's so crazy. And I mean, if there's a doctor watching this, please help my 7th grade mind understand a little bit more what happens.
Shout out to, I definitely reference, and I've said her before, Vagina Rehab doctor. She's an actual doctor, because I'm not. At Vagina Rehab doctor. Also at DrEveryWoman.
Mm-hmm.
DrEveryWoman, she's also a doctor. And
On
on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really useful information. Yeah.
You were going to say something, perhaps?
Oh, I was just going to comment on in learning my cycle days, the period's actually like the first day of the cycle. And sometimes in my mind previously, the period was sort of always like at the end of my mind. Like, it's over and then I start a new cycle. But actually, like, the day one of leading is like the first day of the cycle. And then counting from there. So then that's how in my app it can determine, like, it can predict ovulations, other types of things, and start with your day one on the day that you start your menstruation. So it's been interesting to learn about that. And then, you know, and going to the doctor and they're like, what's the first day of your last period? And I'm like, what is this? So, you know, somewhere I want. I'm like, puzzle. I can't think of a word. But yeah, you know, sometimes that's what they're trying to sort out.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, I always, oh God, how did we get there? How did we get there? I always ask, like, you mean from when I started bleeding?
Right. What are you saying?
Yeah, like, what are you saying right now?
Enigma.
I thought you were going to say that, but I wasn't.
Sorry, it was a big, it was
For me, oh, because you're like that.
a little riddle.
That's dope. I have to think about, like, Enigma. What is Enigma?
It's like a puzzle, right? So yeah.
It's like, it's something that
A graduate took her plenty on the spot. She was like, she said that. She was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. She was like, what does it mean? And I was like, very bad. Let me go ahead and make sure.
Look at it, dropping the vocabulary.
No, but no, I'll bring it back. Bring back. It's time later. No, I mean, it's,
don't let the pussy be an enigma.
right.
Understand the pussy, not the pussy. Learn the pussy. Discover.
And which part of the cycles that you might feel more arousal or desire?
Attraction. Relaxation.
Last time.
Ease.
Exactly.
Tension.
Right.
Ears.
Exactly.
Release.
Right.
Right.
You got a whole emotional process.
Think about it all. And as always, we invite you guys into this conversation. Are you able to have these conversations with your squad? And if so, great. If not, why not? And we're here. You know, you can always hit us up, comment below, or if you want to keep it more private, you're more than welcome to private message us or DM us. You can find me at JustAvina on IG.
I'm Lindsay at Empower Prayer.
I'm Maritha Show.
And as always, thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.